TV's Bracket Breakdown is brought to you by Del One Federal Credit Union, proudly helping members reach their goals since 1960.
And welcome inside DETV Sports for your 2022 Bracket Breakdown. I'm Nick Alessandrini, now joined by your assistant community coach to the Delaware Bluecoats, Angie, Domingo, Francois, and also by your ambassador to the Delaware Bluecoats, somebody you've seen on camera before, Joe Richmond. Guys, we'll start with Angie. How you doing today?
I'm feeling great. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, absolutely. We got some fun ahead. Joe, how about yourself? How you feeling? Ready to talk about March Madness?
Let's go, Nick. Yo, before we get into all that, man, I just really got to give you props on your interview with Jaya Davis, man. That was amazing.
I appreciate that. Joe, I got to respond with what interview you had with Seton Hall's Lauren Park. Phenomenal. She's having a great year. Jair wrapping up a CAA tournament MVP. And
it's just like Almond. Wouldn't he put two Stanford players? he think he's slick, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to send Nick over there, and I'm going to send Joe over here. But they both end up being for Stanford. Yeah. And you know what? High school basketball in Delaware has been amazing.
Yes, and both of those two, Lauren and Jair, had the chance to play at the Bob Carpenter Center. Both of them took home state championships, and we just wrapped up another season here in 2022. We crowned two new champions. Your top seed in the women's, the Caravel girls, they take home the state championship in overtime over Sanford. So what a game that was. Two-time Gatorade Player of the Year, India Johnston, 27 points in that game. So she was obviously the player of the game there. Caravel bringing home that first state title for head coach Kristen Caldwell. So some big things there, and obviously some big things on the boys' side as well. I'm not sure if you guys heard the type of start that Tower Hill had against Sally's in that boys' championship.
No one's seen that coming.
I mean, unbelievable. Tower Hill, their first 24 straight points were all from beyond the arc. 8 threes to get the scoring started in that first game. They jumped out to a 24-4 lead over Sally's, and they ran away with it after that. Tower Hill, first ever.
Anybody said they had Tower Hill, just slap them. They totally out. They'll go give them a cup, test them. Ain't nobody had Tower Hill winning nothing like that. And I bet you they played 20 out of 20 times. Tower Hill would never start like that again. But yo, shout out to Tower Hill. Yes. Awesome. That was truly, truly amazing.
Yeah, I mean, what a game it was. Davis Bland, 23 points. Dylan Shepard, 24, and his brother Dean Shepard, 18. So that was the big three for Tower Hill. And when you're shooting like that, it's hard to get back into the game. The first ever state championship for Tower Hill basketball. Congrats to the Hillers and head coach Paul Kaiser. So there we go. We wrap up some of our state champions this year for basketball.
You said that was the big three. Well, what about the big four? The ones that Bones Holland. I can't talk about it. I can't. You old man. I mean, that's just.
And
woo!
He was having a night. And again, we love to see Bones. We love to see Bones kill it out. Obviously, 26th pick in this past year's draft, first rounder out of VCU. We love to see him do well. Just not against the Philadelphia 76ers. Big game on Monday night for Bones. And not only did he have a good game, he was the one to kind of put it on ice for the Denver Nuggets. 21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 of 14 from the floor, also 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. I mean, busy Bones. He was busy on Monday night.
He was definitely busy. But you know what? Unfortunately, he's doing well, but his college team did not make it this year into the Big Dance.
That's right.
So let's talk about that, because it's kind of odd to see that VCU is not in it.
Yeah.
And this year we're going to probably look at some other surprises that are in the Big Dance. But might be some upsets. It really might be some.
Yeah, there could be. Again, a lot of respect given to those non-Power 5 conferences and some of these seedings, which we're going to dive into a little bit later. And a reason that a lot of us are paying even more close attention to the Big Dance this season, the Delaware Blue Hens. How about this? Both the men's and the women's programs are going dancing. The men left today to head up to Pittsburgh. But how about that? It's rare to get a CAA championship for either one of the programs. They get both, and they both head to the NCAA tournament.
But how? Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know what's up with the seeding gods. Why they put my? I mean, you gotta give props to the women though. The women did their thing. Well deserved. One of the assistant coaches, a good friend of mine, came over from Lincoln. That's over there, and I'm so happy for Coach. And we went to the women's game against
Elon,
and that was an amazing game. And you could just see the maturation, and you could see what they were going to, and the end result is what we have right here, getting ready for the big dance.
Absolutely. Jasmine Dickey leading the way for the women. What a career, or I guess not career is not over yet. What a season she's had this year. I got to witness a 52-point performance. Got to call that game back at the University of Delaware. She had a 40-pointer, a 50-pointer, What a year. And she just declared her eligibility. She'll be heading to the WNBA draft. So we're going to be looking at that. We'll keep an eye on Jasmine here in the next few months, see where she ends up. But she's going to be playing in the Spokane region as well. Again, we're going to dive into the Lady Hens in just a little bit. They grabbed the 13 seed. They avenged that 2 losses in the regular season to Drexel, take them down in the CAA championship. That's how they punched their ticket to the dance. The men, they did something similar. The 3 teams that they lost to in the regular season leading into the CAA tournament, they beat all 3 of them. Punched their ticket to the big dance as well. Jair Davis, who we talked about here, the Sanford, Delaware native, MVP at over 16 points per game, and he's going to have the Hens ready to go for that big matchup that Joe alluded to, and that was with the number 2 Villanova Wildcats. We're going to dive into the whole bracket soon, but initial thoughts there.
You know, Angie over there smiling because Jasmine, she from, where's she from?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, I know.
Some little bias. Yeah.
That's the only reason she over there all excited, but she can go.
Yes, she can.
The girl can go. And you're talking about Villanova, UD, and it's going to be a game. But once again, you got Jair Davis and you got Big Nana.
That's right, yeah.
And once again, that's Ivan. He sets this all up. You know what I mean? He must got some in with the NCAA or something because both of them went to what school?
Sanford. What's going on there? We got a lot of Sanford talk.
Yes, sir.
That just goes to show you how impressive that program has been. Obviously, Stan Water right now at Del State doing some big things there. But we talked about it. Nana Njoku and Jair Davis, once championship teammates at Sanford. They're now going to be battling it out in that region, up in Pittsburgh, in the NCAA tournament. I'm sure they've been texting back and forth all week, but how about that? I mean, that's just crazy.
No, they couldn't do that to us. I mean, you know, they're going to make us, we got to pick that. Do we have to pick that?
We're going to pick that. Yes,
no, they're going to have to block that one out because I'm not going to be on air going against anybody from Delaware. But you know what? You can't lose because Delaware's on East. So
that's right.
One of them. So we got to be happy for either one.
We got to be happy again. I was at the selection show on Sunday when they brought that. Everybody was excited. And I was like, oh, Villanova, Delaware. You know, you hate to see it, but should be a great matchup nonetheless. So we've got a lot to talk about here. It is March. It is madness. There are 2 brackets, men's and women's, that we're going to get to here in just a minute. But first, we're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors.
Why choose Del One? Del One is there for you, wherever you are, and is here to help you get to where you're going. Don't just be a number, and choose to be a part of the Del One family. With personal service, great rates, and accessible products, Del One has you covered. Whether you prefer to branch out or enjoy the comfort of home, leave it to us. Choose Del One and let's grow together.
And welcome back inside DETV Sports for your 2022 bracket breakdown. Nick Alessandrini now joined by Joe Richmond, Angie, Domingo, Francois. We are here for the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's dive in to some of these March Madness games. We're going to start in the South region with a team that we alluded to earlier, Joe. That's the Delaware Blue Hens, your CAA tournament champions. And, Joe, they get the 15 seed.
Oh, man, they're not a 15 seed team, and you know that. You know, they play better than that. They just won a CAA championship. I think they have all the energy going forward. But they're going up against Jay Wright and Villanova. And man, oh man, that's going to, I don't believe they did this. But for me, my heart says Delaware, but really, I got to go with Villanova.
Well, again, I mean, my heart's saying Delaware, too. I mean, what a year for the Hens CAA champs. They left today to head up to Pittsburgh, where they're going to meet the Villanova Wildcats. Angie, any thoughts there? Villanova's been historically a tough team every year.
I'm going for the underdogs, Delaware.
How about that? There we go.
Let's go. Let's make a change.
Let's get those seniors, keep them rolling. Let's keep those seniors rolling.
We got a Delawarean on Villanova. We got Jair on. So we can't lose if any one. But I still say Villanova. They're going to be tough to handle.
Yeah, that's going to be a great one. That one's 2:45 on Friday. Circle that one on your calendar. But let's now head up to the top of the bracket, Joe, where we have a team that won the Pac-12 out of the Conference of Champions. Some people thought they might get the number 1 overall seed. They do not. That went to Gonzaga, but here they are sitting at the top of the South region.
Well, you know, Wright State, whoever comes out, it don't make a difference. Arizona's just a powerhouse. Arizona's a monster right now. They got everything going for them. They just, you know, for years, they've always not shown up this time of year, but I believe this is their time. So I'm going to go with Arizona.
Yeah, they've been real impressive all year long. Keep an eye on the Pac-12 champions. They're your number 1 seed here out in the South. Below them, Seton Hall out of the Big East, 21-10. They're going to get the Horned Frogs from TCU, 20-12, and that should be a good one as well.
Well, TCU ain't no slouch, but, I got to stay with Seton Hall. We are the Delaware Blue Coats, so me and Angie, we got to represent Miles Powell,
That's right.
Seton Hall alum,
Yep.
Right here with Delaware Blue Coats, one of our top players. So I'm going to roll out with Seton Hall, and we just did an awesome interview with Lauren Park-Lane
That's right,
from Seton Hall girls team. So I'm going to stay with Seton Hall. And, good job, TCU, but I think Seton Hall is going to take this one.
And Angie, I know we're going to get to your side of the bracket here shortly, but any thoughts there, Seton Hall and TCU?
We're just going to take it. Seton Hall, right
Seton
there.
Hall.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. Let's keep moving. That's your 8-9 matchup. Always a close one in that one. Now we're going to head to Houston and UAB. Alabama, Birmingham, 27-7 on the season. Houston, the Cougars, one of the most athletic teams in the country. We see that year in and year out. 29-5. They grabbed the 5 seed here in the South, Joe.
Well, the days of 5-slammer jam is long over.
And one in time those were.
Well, they were sometimes. But Houston has always, like you said, always been an athletic team, always been an up and down team. UAB always been a grind type. They got a little bit of Alabama, Michigan State in them to a degree.
Yep.
But I think athleticism is going to take over this grind right here, and I'm going with Houston.
And let's take a look now. The Fighting Illini from Illinois, 22-9. Big year in the Big Ten for Illinois. Obviously following up last year's successful regular season. Didn't work out for them in the postseason. We'll touch on that in a bit. And they get the SoCon champs. That's Chattanooga, 27-7. Obviously a good team out of the SoCon. Joe, when you look at Illinois, you think Kofi Coburn being the big fella underneath, he kind of makes that whole team go.
And I think 100% that's what's going to happen. I think that's really what's going to happen. Kofi is going to take over. I think his inside presence, Chattanooga just doesn't physically stand up to that. And I think, I like the big fella. I know for you, he's not.
After what I picked him last year for all our folks at home, they let me down, him and Domingo.
I know that, but this year I believe he's going to show up, so I'm going to go with Illinois.
And Angie, any thoughts there? Illinois, great season. Obviously, single-digit losses on the year at 22-9. And Chattanooga, they are your SoCon champs. Any type of test for the Illini in this early round?
Yeah, I like Chattanooga and Illinois. You see their record, 27-7, but I'm going for Illinois in this one, and it's going to be a tough game, so we'll see.
It might be, obviously, for the Illini, as we saw last year in the NCAA tournament. Kofi Coburn, though, he'll be leading the way for them in that one. Colorado State, 25-5, a great year for them. Obviously, they're your 8 seed, and they're going to get a team that maybe coming into the season you didn't expect to get an 11 seed in the NCAA tournament. That is out of the Big Ten. That is Michigan. Joe, they get an 11 seed, just 17-14. They got a big fella, Hunter Dickinson, underneath. He's been great for them all year. But how about the Wolverines here at 11?
But you know what? Colorado State, let me tell you something. You're catching Michigan at the right time. I think they're in such I think they're all over the place. I love what they've done earlier, but there's been so much, with the incident that went on.
Right,
you still had Phil Martelli, St. Joe's. That's why they are able to kind of steady the ship and be where they are right now. So I think with that coaching staff that he has in place, I like Colorado State, but I'm going to go with Michigan on this. I don't know why. I think I'm going to take Michigan on this.
And Angie, Michigan, as Joe just said, are you kind of leaning that way? This one almost a toss-up here.
Yeah.
But Michigan coming in, I believe a small favorite heading into this matchup, but should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Michigan. I'm thinking about the women's team as well. Great team. So going ahead to Michigan.
Michigan led by Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
We'll see how the Wolverines do. Obviously not playing their best basketball coming into the NCAA tournament, but you just got to be playing good right now starting tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there with Michigan. Underneath, Tennessee, 26-7. SEC tournament champions. Some thought that victory in the SEC tournament might put them at a 2 seed here in the tournament. That did not work out that way. They get a 3. So they're going to get Longwood 26-6, and we'll see. The Volunteers, are they going to be tested at all here in round 1?
You know what? The only thing Longwood can do is go hang out at Longwood Gardens on this road, because this is going to be over. I'm not going against my man Jaden Springer.
That's right.
Delaware Blue Coast. Tennessee is an alum, so Tennessee is going to put them to bed quick. You know what I mean? Garden, bed, all that. You know what I mean? Y'all feel it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my rap on right here. I'm trying to put it all together.
But what a game he had the other day, by the way, Jaden Springer.
Jaden Springer, he's the beast. But I love what Tennessee has. They've always been that type of team, and they've always been NCAA ready. This time of year is the time that they come together And I'm really not hating on Longwood, but they have I think they're gonna put on they're gonna give a good show, but I think in the long run, Tennessee will win this.
Definitely.
Yeah, a lot of people had their eyes on the Volunteers. Hot coming into the tournament. Look out for Tennessee. Then you got Loyola Chicago, a team that's kind of used to being in the NCAA tournament these last few years. Sister Jean, I believe, going to be accompanying them to the NCAA tournament. 25-7. You know, they're they like dribble handoff. They can shoot the basketball, and they're going to get the 19-11 Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State, it seems like every year maybe gets a seed like that, and they come in. They don't make a lot of noise in the tournament. What do you guys see out of the Buckeyes here? A tough matchup, a 7-10 matchup with Loyola Chicago.
What they do? Just throw them up in there. Whoever hit first, that's who you're gonna go with. You know what I mean? It's like because that doesn't mean anything. That 25-7, that 19-11 does not mean anything, especially when you're at that level with those two type of teams. I don't know how they came out and got the seeding the way it is, because Ohio State had a tougher schedule, so to speak. Yeah. And I'm not demeaning Loyola by any chance, but I'm looking at Ohio State to come out of this. And before we go, come on, Nick, give me all your picks. I'm not going to let you win. You're trying to be slick, everybody. This ain't trying to be slick. Well, I'll do that here.
I'll do you one better. I'll say I'm going to go Loyola Chicago over Ohio State here in round number 1. So give me the upset with the 10 over the 7. Leaning up, Michigan, Colorado State. I'm going to go Colorado State in that one as well, take an upset there. Okay. And then we head to the top, Arizona. I'm going to stick with Arizona. They've been good all season long, and we'll kind of get into who our picks from each region are as we progress here in the show. In fact, let's get right to it right now. That you put me on the spot, Joe. I'm going to go Arizona here out of the South to make their way to the Final Four.
Whoa. You ain't got nothing else better to do. But I'm going to be right there with you. I think Arizona's going to come out of there as well.
Angie, over to you.
So this is where it changes. So I know we talked about Villanova and Delaware. I think Villanova's going to come out.
I can't argue with that. You got to love that. Villanova, Arizona, either one. If Arizona comes out, I look good. Villanova comes out, I'll be happy as well. So there you go.
You said you like Villanova over Arizona?
Over Arizona.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? That's what she said. That's what she said. Yep. Villanova over Arizona.
I'd say that would be some type of matchup in the Elite Eight if we were able to get there. So there you have it for the South. Now we're going to take a look at the Midwest region, here on your screen. Now the top seed out of the Big 12, the Kansas Jayhawks. They are Big 12 champs, and they grab the top seed here, and they get Texas Southern after their win in the play-in yesterday over Corpus Christi. So Texas Southern and your Big 12 champion Kansas kicking off things here in the Midwest.
Well, you can't. This time of year, you know this is Bill Self time of year. You just can't go against him. His track record speaks for itself. Yep. He's always has his teams ready. He can make adjustments on the fly. He can stick to his game plan as well. And no matter what team comes out of this, I just don't see them matching up with Kansas. So I'm going to definitely take Kansas here.
Absolutely. Now, Angie, we'll move on to this next one here. San Diego State 23-8, Creighton 22-11. The ever close 9-8 matchup here in the first round. Usually a toss-up every year between these 9 and 8 matchups. What do you see between the Blue Jays and San Diego State? A little East versus West coming out here.
They're very, very close. I would say San Diego State. San Diego State will come out. It's going to be tough.
Joe, what do you think? You sticking with
it's going to be tough, guys.
You sticking with the Big East with Creighton, or are you going to head over to San Diego?
Listen. I know what Angie. Angie's a little, San
Diego's nice. Why not?
That's what it is. She's thinking about the palm trees. Yeah. This ain't got nothing to do with the vacation. We're talking basketball, Angie. Creighton has shooters. Creighton always has shooters.
They have shooters.
Always have shooters. And when you get to the tournament this time of year, you need shooters. And that's the one thing that San Diego do not have. They have great palm trees. They do not have any shooters.
And again, to Joe's point, Creighton, obviously a tough loss for them in the Big East tournament. But as Joe mentioned, when they get hot, they are hot like few teams in the country. But the other thing is, Angie, if they go cold, that's also, so which team of Creighton are we going to see? Are they going to be hot? Are they going to be cold? That's going to tell the story for how far they advance. We're going
to find out, Nick.
We're going to find out. Let's keep it moving here to one of the hottest teams in the country, fresh off a Big Ten title.
Iowa.
That's the Iowa Hawkeyes. And how about this? They get a team that had to win their conference championship to get in. They do it in the Atlantic 10. That's the Richmond Spiders. They would not have been in. They upset number 1 seed Davidson in their conference tournament. So Richmond Spiders, they punched their ticket, and they're going to have, again, one of the hottest teams in the country. That's the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Well, we all know Iowa is a beast, and I'm going to be sentimental here because you do know that I am Coach Joe Richmond, ambassador basketball for your Delaware. You hear Richmond Spiders, Richmond, and Larry Meeline, the president of the Blue Coats. Richmond, the Spiders, that's his alma mater. So I'm not great. I'm still going with Iowa.
You had me going first. I can see clearly now. But there you have it.
You might bring me some luck.
I'm still going with Iowa. I love you, Larry, but I ain't no fool. Because I know I ain't going to mess up my bracket. So, no, Iowa's just too strong. They've always been that way. They got a solid team. We watched the Richmond women play the A-10 over here at the field house, and they were phenomenal. Richmond has a solid system. They stay in that system, but no matter what system they play in, they're not going to be Iowa. They're just not.
Angie, both of these teams, conference champions in their respected conferences. What do you see here with Iowa and Richmond?
Iowa, of course.
Iowa. I'm going to have to agree with both of you. I'm going to go with the Iowa Hawkeyes, but Richmond able to win that A-10 tournament. They punched their ticket, so congratulations to the Richmond Spiders. And below them, the #1 seed in the Big East tournament when it started a week ago. That was the Providence Friars, 25-4. Not a great showing at the Big East tournament. That's how they somehow wind up with a 4 seed here in the NCAA tournament. And they're going to get the Jackrabbits from South Dakota State. And if you haven't seen South Dakota State play, they're going to be one of the best shooting teams here in the field. They can shoot the lights out at 30-4. A tough matchup for a pretty good Providence team who's the 4 seed.
Yeah, but they names crack me up. The Jackrabbits and the Friars. like, what is it about them that make you like, oh, I gotta go watch this game? You know, like the Tar Heels and like the Jackrabbits and the Friars. But you know what, Providence? Come on, that history speaks for itself. Let me see. There was a pretty good guard. Well, I know 2 great guards that played for Providence. One is the one and only Philadelphia own Ricky Tucker, franchise, bam, and Delaware Blue Coats own assistant coach, Sam Guy. Yo, go do your bad boy for Providence. And Providence always had great guards. They always had good guard play. And when you get to the tournament, you need what? Good guard play. And that's what they're going to do. So I'm going to go with Providence. And that's amazing because they both have, their records are almost similar, but it's just something about when you get to the tournament, you need those generals, and I think Providence has that over South Dakota.
Yeah.
Angie, you with Joe there? Providence, South Dakota State, how do you see that one going?
Definitely agree. Providence, around this time of year, they're always ready. So I will just vote for Providence going forward with South Dakota.
So Providence Friars, Jair Davis, the transfer from Providence, now at the University of Delaware, and thankful to have him back home in Newark. Now over to the matchup, LSU out of the SEC, 22-11. They get the Iowa State Cyclones out of the Big 12. LSU guys, I know we talked a little bit about this before we went on the air. No Will Wade, a head coaching issue there late in the year. He is no longer leading that LSU Tiger team. Joe, what do you expect out of LSU? Obviously, that can go 2 ways.
Yeah, I really had LSU going to this. Then with everything going on with Coach Wade, you don't know if the players are going to come and rah, or you don't know if the players are going to fall back and be a little dejected. I can't think of the coach that's going to step in, a good assistant coach that's going to step in and get them. But you just don't know when you do that what the psyche of the players will be. And they are going up at a solid Iowa State team. I mean, Iowa State is 100% solid in everything that she does. So, and if you look at Iowa State and the history of how they've played, they've always, in that first round, they've always been ready coming out the gate, coming into the tournament. And I think that is what LSU did not want. Any other team, it would have been different. But going against, if LSU had everything solid, Coach Wade was still there, I could see them being solid and ready to go, but not with Iowa State. Not with everything they're going through.
Yeah, Angie, over to you. Cyclones, Tigers. Quickly, how do you see that one?
Yeah, I believe now with Coach Wade being out, LSU might be kind of shaky. But of course, you know, they know basketball is LSU. We know the track and record. But it might be different this year because Coach Wade is not there. So, you know, good luck to them. I do see maybe Iowa State winning this one, but we'll see. We'll see.
That should be a good one. Again, some interesting things going on there. We're going to wrap up this Midwest region here quickly. Wisconsin 24-7, having a phenomenal year. They get Colgate. Colgate actually a pretty good team in their own, but Wisconsin, the key here, Joe and Angie, is they're going to be playing in Milwaukee. What are the odds there? So Wisconsin, some home games there. That's really going to help out the Badgers.
Yes, Colgate. I don't know. The last player they had was a Donald Foyle. I can't remember. You know, that was my man too. But they have. I mean, for them to still have a program that's been solid. That's what you want when you're talking college basketball, even though we always know it's about star players, but it's still about the program and their foundation. But the Wisconsin Badge has always been a beast this time of year. You know, Wisconsin's like we talked about with Alabama. They just that gritty, those type of teams. They come, it's like those guys be bailing hay or something. They just different. You know, they built different. They bang. They all of them rebound. You know, and I just love the way they come together. So I'm gonna go with the Wisconsin Badgers on this one.
Angie, Wisconsin?
Badgers.
There you go. So Wisconsin, the Badgers. Again, 2 games for them if they're able to advance in the first round in Milwaukee. So pretty good if you're a Badger fan there. Over to USC, 26-7, led by the other Mobley brother, Evan, making his way to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The other one having a great year here for the Trojans. They get the 7 seed. Miami out of the ACC with the 10 seed. USC, one of just 3 Pac-12 teams here in the tournament this year. We saw how well the Pac-12 did last year. What a showing it was for the Conference of Champions. Joe, what do you see here? USC, Miami, one of the tougher first-round picks there.
Whatever you decide, this ain't no football game. We talking basketball, so you know they're football powerhouses. But you know, I know outside the Mobley brother, what else is there to say? So you can throw them whoever hit the ground first. Take your pick. But if you really taking a pick and want your bracket right, I would go with USC on this one. But it could go either way.
Angie, USC, Miami, tough 10-7.
It's tough. Miami's pretty nice.
That's all she knows. San Diego's pretty nice. Miami's pretty nice. They got palm trees. They got palm trees.
Yeah.
And now we're going to wrap it up with, I'm sure, Jacksonville State, 21-10. They've got some palm trees in Jacksonville as well. But is that going to be enough to take down one of the best teams in the country all year long, led by head coach Bruce Pearl? That is the Auburn Tigers. And, of course, lottery pick Jabari Smith. What a year he's having. In Auburn, again, a lot of people thought they might grab a 1 seed, a few weeks ago. They do get a 2 seed, but they get Jacksonville State here in round 1. That game going to be in Greenville, South Carolina.
Look, it's no mistake that you get to be number 1 in the country, and Auburn was that at one time. You know, and I'm not going to go against my man Charles Barkley. You know, if I do, that's a good point. You know, coming out of Auburn, you know what I mean? And Bruce Pearl is just the best. He's done it at Tennessee, and now he's here doing the same thing, creating the same magic, the same consistency, the same success rate. So he knows what it is this time of year. That's why they've been so successful, and there's no secret why, and it's all because of Bruce Pearl. Jacksonville, listen, Angie will see you after she go to San Diego and Miami. She'll come down there because of more palm trees. But that's about the best they can do.
Angie, we know you like palm trees.
I love palm trees.
Is it enough to take Jacksonville State in a huge upset, monumental, over the Auburn Tigers?
It is not enough. Come on, it's Auburn.
It is Auburn.
Auburn.
It is Auburn. What a year they've had.
Yes.
And we'll see how far they can advance. Again, they'll be in Greenville, South Carolina to kick things off this week. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the other half. We have the West and East region coming at you right after this.
Why choose Del One? 1 out of every 11 Delaware residents is a part of the Del One family. Rooted in Delaware, community-driven, Del One strives to be an active part of Delaware neighborhoods and organizations. To this day, the Del One Foundation has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for countless local charities, and our commitment continues. Choose Del One, and let's grow together.
And welcome back inside DETV's 2022 bracket breakdown. Nick Alessandrini joined by Joe Richmond, Angie, Domingo, Francois. And we're here now to dive into the East and West regions. We just finished up our South and Midwest. So before we advance, I didn't get you guys Midwest champions. So we both talked about it. Can't no brainer. Angie, over to you.
Auburn, come on.
Auburn. I'm going to go with Auburn too. So I'm
You
going to
always
go
pick the Angie side. All right, go ahead, man.
So we're going to now roll over to the East region. Here on your screen, you're going to see it up here as I turn to my right. We're going to start up top with the defending national champions, 26-6. Maybe not as much talent as they had last year, Angie, but Baylor looking real good. They get a top seed in this year's tournament.
Right. I choose Baylor. Why not? Baylor, they've always been ready, especially during this time of year. Their record, 26-6, really good record. Number 1, Baylor. You can't go wrong with that.
And Joe, Norfolk State, I believe, winning out of Dell State's conference to punch their ticket here to the NCAA tournament. Not a great matchup. They get the Baylor Bears and head coach Scott Drew coming off that national title.
Yeah, Virginia's for lovers on Baylor.
There you go. Let's keep it moving. On to our 8-9 matchup. And how about this one, Joe, Angie? North Carolina, 24-9. Started to play some good basketball as they wound down that stretch. A big win over Duke in Coach K's last home game. They get a 8 seed at 24-9. They're going to get a team out of the Big East, the Marquette Golden Eagles, at 19 and 12. Big East ACC. Angie, what do you see here between the Tar Heels and the Golden Eagles?
Yeah, Tar Heels, it goes by their name. They have a great record, but I go with Marquette on this one.
How about that?
Underdog.
What are you talking
yes.
9 versus 8, Joe.
Yes,
I mean,
Marquette.
well, you know North Carolina always going to get that favoritism.
Of course.
I got to give Marquette a shout out. Joe Kane, what's going on?
Joe Kane.
Yes, our main man, Alex Yo,
Alex
Marquette.
Yo.
Yes, he was doing
My
some
aunt
great
went to
things over
Marquette.
there.
How about that? With Doc Rivers.
Now his aunt,
So,
now
yeah,
he wants to say
Marquette. We
something.
can choose Marquette.
But I'm not going to choose Marquette. I ain't crazy. I'm going with North Carolina too.
And Joe, to follow you up, I'm sorry, Anna Boleyn, I'm going with the Tar Heels too at the 8th
Yeah.
seed, North Carolina. So me and
That's a
Joe
good
going
choice.
with North Carolina. Angie, no, so you can stick with Marquette. That one's another toss-up here for the 8-9 matchup. Let's keep it moving. St. Mary's 25-7 in that tough conference with Gonzaga. This year they get a 5 seed. We talked about that respect to the out of Power 5 conference.
Yes.
And St. Mary is an example there. They get the 5 here, and they're going to get Indiana, an impressive win for Indiana over Wyoming last night in the play-in game. Wyoming was one of those teams that was on the brink of getting in, and they did get in, maybe the last team in if you were to look at it that way. But Indiana took care of business last night, obviously led by Mike Woodson, and that's going to be a good one. St. Mary's and Indiana. Joe, what do you think?
I'm loving it. I'm loving with St. Mary's. I'm not taking nothing away from St. Mary's. St. Mary's earned it. You know, you need those Power 5s outside. You need that every once in a while to keep a little parity, to keep some things saying, oh yes, we got an opportunity to be in this as well, but they will fall. I'm loving what Mike Woodson is doing. Indiana is solid. I can't believe Indiana is still wearing those red and white sweatpants.
Hoosiers, there you have it. Trace Jackson having a great year for the Hoosiers. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Indiana and St. Mary's. Indiana, and sometimes it
Yeah.
helps when you can get a win in that first 4 matchup. You already have a win under your belt in the NCAA tournament. Does that help Indiana against St. Mary's?
I feel like it will. I'm going with Coach Joe, Indiana. I know they're in 12th seed, but it doesn't matter to me. I
good
think Indiana's
season.
going to come out.
Good season for them this year. We'll see if they can keep that rolling after the win against Wyoming. Now let's go over to UCLA in Akron. Joe, we talked about this one before we went on the air. UCLA was one of my favorite teams coming into the tournament, and I took a look at this East bracket, and we'll talk about it in full here in a little while, and my eyes, I just couldn't handle it. What a bracket do we have here in the East? UCLA, same returning starting 5 as they had with that deep Final Four run last year. Jaime Hawkeyes, Johnny Juzang, Tiger Campbell running the point guard. That team's loaded. A tough loss to Arizona in that Pac-12 title game, but they get a pretty good team in the Akron Zips this year, 24-9. They are a 13 seed. Does UCLA have to be worried at all here in round 1?
I think so, because, you know, controversy was standing. You know, Kenton came at Akron, but Akron came and stood to the test. They showed who they were. They came and rallied as a team. And you make a good point, but Johnny J is I think is going to be the difference maker. I think the Zips have everything else, but they don't have a Johnny J. And when you get down to that last 3 minutes of the first half or the last 2 minutes of the game, you need a guy that you can go to. And when everything else is breaking down, he's shown in the past and this year that he is still the guy to go to. So I'm going to go with UCLA.
Angie, following that, UCLA, or do you see the Zips giving them a little bit of trouble?
I don't know why I thought you were going to go with Akron, but I'm going with UCLA as well.
There you have it.
UCLA.
The Bruins advancing there as the 4 seed. Let's keep it moving. Texas out of the Big 12, 21-11. They're going to get your ACC champions, another team that would have had some trouble getting in had it not been for that conference tournament run. That's the Hokies. Justin Mutz, the Delaware transfer, now at Virginia Tech. A phenomenal squad over there for the Hokies. A interesting matchup here at 11-6 with Tech and Texas, Angie.
Yeah, I'm going for Texas. Come on now.
Texas. Joe, we heard you talk a little bit about it before. What do you think?
But you know, they're playing a game in Milwaukee, unlike Baylor that's playing in Fort Worth, so they got a little home court advantage with them. But Texas always it just shows you the power of the teams in the Texas. They just always get talent. And outside of football, which is one of their strengths, Texas has always been great at basketball. So I'm gonna go with Texas as well. I love Virginia Tech, but they're just not going to be able to handle them.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Hokies here in an 11-6 upset. I'm taking Virginia Tech fresh off that ACC championship, so I'm going to ride that wave. Go with the Hokies here in that 11-6. We'll see. We're going to see here in just a little bit. And now, again, now we're going to move on here. Purdue and Yale in the next matchup. Yale out of the Ivy League. And then you take a look at Purdue, to me, one of the most impressive teams out of the Big Ten. A tough one against Iowa in that Big Ten championship, led by lottery pick Jaden Ivey.
Yes.
Phenomenal talent he is. Can't wait to see where he ends up next year Joe, Purdue, Yale. Yale give Purdue any trouble?
Hey, if you want to go ahead and own a corporate something, go to Yale. Not for nobody.
Right.
Like you, if that's only you want to own the lottery company, go to Yale. You want to be in the lottery, go to Purdue. That's the difference. So I'm going with Purdue.
Angie, Purdue?
I'm going with Purdue. Yale hasn't really given me anything. Purdue, especially in the women's side too, Yale hasn't given me anything as well. So I go with Purdue.
Here we go,
Yeah.
the 7-10 matchup as we proceed. Murray State, the Racers, the 7 seed, 30-2. John Moran, alma mater, he was paying close attention to them this season. They're going to get San Francisco 24-9. This one, again, another interesting first-round matchup. To me, it's going to be a tight one. Angie, where are you leaning between the Racers and San Fran?
I don't know about this one.
This is a tough one.
This is tough on the East Coast with these teams. I would say let's go with San Francisco.
San Francisco, again, can't fault you there. 10 seed over 7 happens every year. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a good TV show back in the day. The Streets of San Francisco. That's about all that is good for. Murray State. No, this is another toss-up. This is
Right,
another
it is.
toss-up.
No, it really is,
Don't
yeah.
go by the rank. Don't go by the 7 and the 10. Both of these guys have played solid all year long. That's why they're where they at. But they're both doomed after the first round. So they'll beat each other, and then they'll get spanked in the second round.
And now let's get to why they're going to get spanked in round number 2, according to Joe. And that's going to be the number 2 seed Kentucky taking on the 15 seed St. Peter's at 19-11. Oscar Schwebe having an unbelievable year for Kentucky. Tough loss, though, in that SEC tournament. They do still get a 2 seed, one of the most talented teams in the country. Do they advance?
Oh, come on,
course.
you know. This ain't nothing else to do with Kentucky.
course,
We only got
Kentucky.
the
Well, then let's get to the tough part here as we take a look even closer at this East region. Angie, Joe, who's your East region champion? Who's going to punch their ticket to the Final Four?
Oh, man. Go ahead, Angie. I'm going to give you the shot first.
My top 3, Baylor, Purdue, and Kentucky, I think.
So let me ask you this then, Angie. They're going to meet right here, Purdue and Kentucky.
Yep.
Who do you have winning that matchup?
Baylor.
So Baylor beats the winner of Kentucky, Purdue
Kentucky.
either way. So Angie has Baylor punching
Yep.
that ticket to the Final Four. They're out of the East. Joe, what are you thinking?
You got to go with Baylor.
Baylor?
Come on, they've been doing
Yeah.
it all year long. They're solid. All these other teams are really solid, but I'm going with Baylor.
I'm going to, again, go away from you guys here yet one more
No.
time. I'm going to go with UCLA here.
Why?
UCLA is going to beat Baylor, and then I have UCLA with a Purdue, Kentucky, the winner of that one. I think that's going to be maybe the game of the tournament. Purdue, Kentucky, UCLA, and Baylor. I don't think it gets much tougher in any region here in the NCAA tournament. This, to me, is the toughest region this season, is the East. And honestly, I think it's a little ridiculous. I think they should have spread it out a little bit. But it's going to be an action-packed East region, Joe.
And you know, I only took Texas because my man DeMarcus Hollins, Delaware Blue Coats, alma mater. Got to always plug my guys.
Yeah.
But you can't lose. But I like Baylor. But I would like to see Kentucky. You can't go against them.
It's going to be a fantastic battle in the East. Now we take a look at our final region.
Let's
it's
go.
the West region.
Let's go.
And that's going to be led by your number 1 overall seed in the tournament. That is Gonzaga.
Do we even got to go through this?
year.
This is say Gonzaga. That's it.
Yeah.
So we'll start with them. Gonzaga, Georgia State. Gonzaga will advance there. Now, but here's where it gets tough.
Very.
Yeah.
Boise State and Memphis.
Memphis.
Boise State, I believe, your WAC champions. They played great in their conference tournament. And then they get to Memphis 21-10, led by Penny Hardaway, a guy that we know here in Delaware. Jalen Duren came here, reclassified a year early to go play for Coach Penny Hardaway this year. He's been playing well for Memphis. Who do you got? Memphis, Boise State, another toss-up.
And Memphis just went through a lot of different things as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not going to talk about it, but you know, with the Imani Bates situation, but they've kind of turned the tide. They've kind of won 10 in a row, I think, or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lost
Going
the
in.
conference championship, yeah.
So I'm looking at Memphis to really win this. Boise's tough as all outdoors, and Boise got a nice gym if you've never
do.
been in.
They really do.
They got a really nice field too. They got a really nice. But that's all they got. That's nice. So we're gonna go here. I'm gonna take Memphis.
Memphis.
I'm gonna go with
Angie
Memphis.
taking Memphis too. Memphis. You know what? Why? I'm going to go with Jalen Duren. I'm going to go Memphis too. Keep the hometown kid card here for the Tigers. Now let's keep moving. New Mexico State and Uconn, a 12-5 matchup every year. It could go either way between the 12 and 5 seeds. New Mexico State with some historic success every now and then here in the NCAA tournament. So they've been here before. Maybe not the players of this team, but that program has been here before. And they get Uconn 23-9. They're having a good year also. They gave Nova a run for their money in that Big East tournament. A tough loss for them there, but they're a 5 seed today.
Yep, and I'm just going to leave it at that and go with UConn.
I'm going to go with UConn as well.
UConn.
New Mexico, they've been here before and they're developing their team, but I'm going to go with UConn.
New Mexico State. Another upset. It's upset city today.
You know, when you wear sneaks like that, you wear sneaks like that, you can make those type of calls. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's the sneaks.
And you know, and this next one's got me a little bit troubled as well. You take a look at the Arkansas Razorbacks, 25-8 out of the SEC, and then they get the conference champions, Vermont, led by Ryan Davis, 13 seed. Vermont is a sneaky good team. Here they are at 13 against Arkansas. A good year for the Razorbacks overall, a little bit inconsistent. Does Vermont have a shot here at Arkansas, Joe?
Yeah, they got a shot for sneaking into the arena. That's all they going to do. After that, Arkansas going to run them out the building. Arkansas.
I disagree.
You out your mind.
I disagree.
Yo, let me test you too. You out your mind. Listen.
Vermont?
I disagree.
Arkansas.
Vermont.
And I'm not this one. I'm just glad you two battled out. Vermont and Arkansas. That's a good one. That's going to be a tough one. I already picked the upset New Mexico State. I'll skip this one. But you have Vermont and you have.
You can't skip it. You got to choose.
Vermont. Oh! I think I'm picking too many upsets, but it's March, it's madness, so we're going to keep it rolling here. Alabama, 19-13. Great start to the year. Joe had been playing well, but inconsistent to close out their year. They're going to have the winner of tonight's matchup between Rutgers and Notre Dame. Rutgers led by Ron Harper Jr. They've upset a few top 10 teams this season. Can they beat Notre Dame? Or whoever wins that game, do they have a shot at the Red?
I think that's a toss-up again. Yeah. You know, but Alabama has always been that gritty team. I alluded to them in the earlier part of the segment when we was over there on the South Side in Midwest and talked about how they are, and some teams are comparable to them. But Alabama is that standard next to, you know, Michigan State is the standard when it comes to gritty, grinded out basketball. And Alabama is going to do that once again. And I look at Alabama to just impose their will on either one of these teams because physically neither one of them stands up.
Yeah. Angie, similar thoughts there. What do you think here?
I don't agree. Notre Dame.
Here we go. We're getting some disagreements on this side of the bracket.
So Notre Dame is going to beat Rutgers?
Yes.
So you got Notre Dame beat Alabama.
Yes.
There you have it. There you go. Mike Bray.
I'm going to stand on it.
Mike Bray again.
I'm going to stand on it.
Martin Inglesby from Delaware from that coaching tree with Mike Bray at Notre Dame. So
I love Mike Bray. Great guy. We miss you.
And now let's take a look at Texas Tech and Montana State. Texas Tech 25-9, but if you've been watching any type of bracketology or following college basketball, they are the hot pick here in the West, maybe to meet Gonzaga in that Elite Eight. A lot of people not giving Duke a chance, who we'll get to here in a second, but a lot of Red Raiders fans this year, do they take care of Montana State rather easily here in round one?
For some reason, Texas Tech just runs. It's like they got waves and waves and waves of guys. So I'm with you on that. Yeah. Texas Tech just keep coming at you. I'm not upset about what Montana. I'm giving Montana State some respect, but I'm still telling you Texas Tech is the team.
Angie, Red Raiders?
Texas State.
Absolutely. So the Red Raiders will advance over Montana State, according to us anyway. And then we're going to go down to Michigan State and Davidson. 7-10, again, one of the tougher matchups to pick in round number one. Just the 7-10 matchup in general, Joe.
Oh, okay. I'm getting like, what's going on?
But yeah, we're going to have the same conversation, I feel like, here in a second. Michigan State, your boy Tom Izzo, 22-12 on the year. They're your 7 seed. Obviously, we know what to expect a little bit out of Michigan State as they've been good, it seems like, year in and year out. But they get Davidson, another team that's pretty good. Delaware opened up with them this year. I'll tell you, we talked about shooting. Davidson can shoot in bunches, one of the hottest shooting teams in the country. Michigan State, Davidson. Joe, you know, you were laughing at about Michigan State earlier. Are they going to run through Davidson?
No, first you are my boy. I ain't the one you took pictures with, Tom Izzo. I ain't never take no pictures.
Oh, you got a good memory.
Not even my boy. Come on, man. No, I never go against Tom Izzo. Did I say that before? Please, where's the production people? I never go against Tom Izzo.
Write it down.
I don't care about shooting. I don't care about none of that. You just don't go against Tom Izzo in the first round. So I'm going to go with Michigan State.
Angie, following that?
Michigan State.
There you go. The Spartans over Davidson there in round one. Then now we go over to Duke. Coach K's final run here, guys. A tough break at home. The last home game against North Carolina, they did not play well there. Have not really played well since then, but they do still maintain. They get a 2 seed here in the tournament. They're going to get Cal State Fullerton. Blue Devils have anything to worry about in round one?
They be like, listen, Mike, we're going to give you Cal State Fullerton. Hey, Mike, we're going to give you Cal State Fullerton. Did you hear that? We're going to give you Cal State Fullerton. So I'm going to go with Duke.
Yeah. I say Duke, they got the benefit of the doubt here as this 2 seed, maybe the top 2 seed in the tournament. Angie, anything there with Cal State Fullerton?
Definitely going with Duke.
Duke, absolutely. So Duke, your 2 seed advance. Now here comes the tough part. Who do you have coming out of the West region here? Your top seed, Gonzaga. Your 2 seeds, Duke. some good ones mixed in. Texas Tech been a popular pick amongst some of the experts, if you will, out there. Who's going to be your West Region champ, Joe?
So real quick, I said Gonzaga, Duke, Baylor, Purdue. Baylor meets Gonzaga. Gonzaga takes it.
Gonzaga is your national champion. So again, away with all that other stuff, we're going to jump right to national championships. Joe's got the Zags here. They not only take the West Region, they take it all. Angie, West Region champs.
I have to agree with Coach Joe.
Gonzaga. So there you go. I'm going to go.
Gonzaga.
I'm going to go with Gonzaga too here. I'm going to go
'cause-
Gonzaga to reach the Final Four. Joe, you gave us your national championship pick in the Zags. Drew Timme and company looking to avenge that loss. Mark Few still doesn't have a national championship. He's looking to get that one this year. He's going to get one this year. So there you have it for Gonzaga. Angie, national champion for 2022.
National champion for 2022. Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, too.
Yeah.
Gonzaga. It'll be the,
Yeah.
Now you're going to put me on the spot here. My national champion, Arizona. I'm going to go with Arizona. Dennis, I know you're smiling back there as well. Arizona Wildcats, your national championship. Gonzaga, Arizona. And how about this, guys? We pick all number 1 seeds, but that's the way it's been kind of trending these last few years, so we'll see what happens.
Wow.
Arizona shocked you that much?
Yes. They've
Talk to
always,
me.
you know, they've
You don't think they've got it,
not-
right?
They've always
You think
got
they
there.
tighten up as we get going?
Yes.
I'm telling you, this year, as you
Never
mentioned earlier,
know.
might be different. I watched them
Yeah.
play. What a run they had in the Pac-12 tournament. They were fantastic. I saw, the way they outplayed UCLA, which was one of my other teams out of the Pac-12 coming in. But I'm going to ride with the Arizona Wildcats. I think they're playing the best basketball right now.
Okay.
It's going to be
Interesting,
interesting.
yeah.
It's
It
going
is.
to be interesting.
It is absolutely going to be interesting.
Is that our show?
That's our men's bracket for sure here for the 2022 bracket breakdown. So it was fun to get up here and get through this whole bracket with you guys again. Thanks for
This was
joining me
awesome.
here
Thank
on
you.
DETV. We really appreciate it.
I don't
And-
take Angie disagreeing with me, but it's okay. You know what I mean?
Hey, there's going to be some of that again. And then you can come back in a couple weeks and let us know what we did wrong and maybe we looked dumb up here a few times.
Yeah.
But if not, maybe we'll get all our picks right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but can
you never know.
when they go for this, can they go online and challenge our picks? I want to know what their picks are going to be.
That's a
Does
great idea.
DETV have a,
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Let's
I want to know.
A poll.
So we're going to start
Yeah.
a tournament bracket challenge on ESPN.com.
Yeah.
We're going to share the link with you guys all that very shortly. And if you think you got what it takes to put your brackets up against us three,
Yeah.
we're going to see it up here in a couple of days. So tonight, again, we're going to have it up after this. Make sure you fill it out with the DETV. We'll have the link for that so you can fill your brackets and see how you do against us here up with the big screen.
Yeah, with the big boys and girls.
Yeah, don't forget about the girls.
Well, yeah, thanks
Women's
for
this
joining
month,
us.
by the way.
Yeah, here we go.
There you go. And thanks for joining us all here at DETV Sports, our 2022 bracket breakdown for Nick, Joe, and Angie. We will see you next time. It's March Madness.